Hello and welcome to the 9th edition of Canada Cup in Richmond, British Columbia at the Olympic Oval. And it's an exciting time. We are back after 2 years of pandemic. There was supposed to be a Canada Cup in 2020. Of course, it was canceled, postponed to 2021, canceled again, and we are back to the 9th edition. Canada will try to win their first Canada Cup. First Canada Cup happened in 2004. America, the United States, have won 6 times, and Australia have won twice. But Canada came second in 2010, 2012, and 2014. 6 countries will be competing at this Canada Cup this year. Of course, the Paralympic champion Great Britain are here, and the 6 team are actually qualified for the World Championship happening later this year in Denmark in the fall 2022. Also, Great Britain, Japan, the last world champion, are here in Richmond. Australia will be competing here. Denmark, the hosting country of the World Championship, is also here. And France, the team that Canada will be playing in the first game of these Canada Cup. Actually, Canada played their last game at the Paralympics to come 5th in Tokyo against France, and this was France's best position at the Paralympics in all their participation. Alors, bienvenue à la 9e édition de la Coupe Canada pour le rugby en fauteuil roulant. Le Canada tentera de remporter sa première Coupe Canada. Ils ont terminé deuxième à 3 reprises, en 2010, 2014 et 2012. Ils seront en action aujourd'hui contre la France. Et lors du dernier match, le Canada a eu une bonne partie contre les Français. Ils avaient remporté le match à Tokyo aux Jeux paralympiques pour une 5e position. Et bien sûr, les Français avaient terminé 6e. So more action here in Richmond for the first game of Canada Cup. And in just a few seconds, we will have the match against France and Canada.
In the world right now against Team France, who's ranked at number 5. So, yeah, I hope we'll have an exciting game. Yep. I think France is coming off of a win from their European Championships as well, so maybe coming in with a little bit of confidence from that past win. All right, so we've got both the teams here shaking hands, getting ready to take that tip. I think we'll probably have Mike Whitehead for Team Canada taking the tip. Let's see, or maybe it'll be Zach Medell.
Whitehead on the far side. Lots of space for Whitehead to move up the court. Scores Canada's 4th try.
So we see both teams here are running sort of a high-low setup, which means that they have their classification system. Both teams have 2 high pointers and 2 low pointers on the floor. So for Canada, we've got Zach Medell and Mike Whitehead playing as their high pointers. And then on Team France, we've got number 5, Rudolph Harlan, and number 21 out there, Jonathan Hiverneau, playing as their high pointers.
Good job by Whitehead and Hirschfield there to force the errant pass by France. And Canada gets the first turnover of the game to take their first lead of the game, 5-4. Here comes Jarlan up the court, looking for an outlet. Sends it to Hiverno, who does a good job to pick up the ball. Nice pick by Jarlan to try and free up Hiverno, but Medal gets back into position. And France scores their 5th try of this game. Hirschfield to Whitehead, quick over the top to Medal, and cruise in for Canada's 6th try.
Zach Medell is one of the fastest athletes playing wheelchair rugby these days, so you'll see he's pretty quick to get free once he's got that ball. He's moving down that court pretty darn quickly.
France gets the ball in to Hiverno, who's one-on-one versus Medal, but does have the pick to follow here. Does a good job of,
Zach's trying not to catch that ball on the half-court line there. You see he tapped it rather than just catching it. In wheelchair rugby, there's an over and back rule. So if he were to catch it on the line, it would be a turn in possession.
France does recover the ball, uses their first timeout to save themselves from that violation that Jess was just talking about. And they'll take 30 seconds to talk about their tactics here. Canada's gotten back into the key, it looks like. Jess? Can you talk to us a little bit about their key defense?
Yeah, so they've got their 2 high pointers set up in the center there. So they're going to be ready to play defense as they come to attack and sort of score on that goal. Their low pointer for France here is going to try and tie up one of those high pointers, I would say, and try and pull them out of the play as they are playing defense. Oh,
nice job by Canada to force the low pointer into the key early. However, he manages to get out. 18 seconds on the shot clock for France. Hiverno's in a tough spot, but makes a nice pass to Jarlan. He scores the try, and it's 6-6 Canada, France here. Whitehead inbounds the ball to Medal, following Rodriguez up the court. Squeezes through traffic and will score Canada's 7th try. One-on-one, Jarlan versus Medal. Trying to use his picker to get out of trouble here. Gonna run out of time and has to use a timeout to stop the turnover from happening.
So in wheelchair rugby, you only have 10 seconds to get that ball over the half-court line from when the first athlete touches the ball. So France was getting a little bit stressed that their 10 seconds was about to come up there, so they used that timeout to avoid that.
And that's France's 2nd timeout, and they have 2 more left before they're out of 30-second timeouts.
Exactly, yeah. So that's good pressure from Canada. It's not that typical to see 2 timeouts used, you know, in the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. So you can definitely see that Canada's applying some good pressure here.
So Jarlan streaks up the court to our near side here and scores the try against Rodriguez. And Hirschfield to inbound again. Spots Medal and makes an easy pass. And Medal is gone. Not going to stop him there. Makes the score 8-7. 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. Canada has got a nice transition here against France, denying them possible inbound. However, ball comes in to Jarlan. Nice pass to Hiverno over top of Hirschfield. Scores the try. Ball comes into Whitehead, being defended by Jarlan. Double teamed. Oh, nice pressure by Team France to force the turnover there, and Team France takes the lead 9-8.
You see Medel calling inbounder on that call there. He was tied up by 2 of France's players, so he made that call so that he could get into better position and make that inbound. Just looking for Whitey.
Nice pass by Zach. Get the ball into Whitehead. One-on-one versus Hiverno. Getting low on the count here. Uses the timeout to save the violation.
Yeah, so we've got 30 seconds on the shot clock there when he calls that. So he has 12 seconds to get over, and 2 seconds there. He didn't think he was going to get over in those 2 seconds, so he used that timeout to save it.
Looks like Canada's going to make their first substitutions here. Cody Caldwell and Travis Morale are going to come in for Whitehead and Hirschfield. So Canada will be running a balanced lineup now, Jess?
Yeah, exactly. So as we were talking about before, we had the high-low lineup, which was the 2 higher classified players with the 2 lower classified. Now we've got a more even spread for Canada, with Travis Morale being a 2 and Cody Caldwell being a 2. So we'll talk a little bit more about that classification system when we have a bit of a pause between quarters here. But
Morale inbounds the ball to Medell for a breakaway try. Ties the game up at 9. Lagoon to inbound again. Has Jarlan open in front of him. And after a few bubbles, Canada ends up with possession of the ball. Opportunity to take the lead here. Medell covered by 2 players. Gets the ball out to Caldwell. Held up by Nankin. Got to get rid of the ball. Finds Medell. Medell will score Canada's 10th try. Hiberno with the ball. Stopped by 2 Canadian defenders. Does a good job to get free. And however, is forced to use France's 3rd timeout here in this first quarter.
yeah, a lot of pressure coming from Canada there. They only get 4 for the whole game, so they've only got 1 left at this stage, and I'm sure Canada's going to feel pretty confident knowing they don't have that bailout option if the clock is running low for the remainder of the quarters.
Yeah, I think Canada will be pretty happy with forcing 3 timeouts. France makes a substitution, and in comes number 4, Adrian Chalmin, and number 10, Bryce Morel. And number 1, Nicolas Valentin. Hiberno scores France's 10th try to tie the game up, and 2:39 to go in the first. Morale looking for a receiver. Finds Caldwell here on the near side. Gets the ball up to Morale. Nice pick by Medell to free up Travis, who scores Canada's 11th try. Chalmin to inbound. Finds Morel. Covered by 2 Canadian defenders.
Cody Caldwell was looking for that jump ball there, so if he can get his palm on the ball.
And that is France's 4th timeout here in the 6 minutes into the first quarter. So if they get into trouble again on their backcourt, they're going to have to make long passes.
Yeah, we're going to see some deep passes, I think, next time that clock is running a little low.
Right. That's right. Hiberno working against 2 Canadian defenders again. Manages to get loose. However, Morale is right there. Finds Valentin deep. Gets hit by Medell.
I think we're going to see Team Canada drop back into the key on defense if they can here.
Yeah, France getting low on the 40-second shot clock, but they managed to score with 7 seconds to go. 11 all, 1:54 left in the first quarter here. Morale to inbound, finds Caldwell. 1-on-1 against Morale. And a nice long pass to Morale. Scores for Canada.
So Canada's got a lot of seasoned players on the floor here. Most of these guys have seen Paralympics before. They've been working together for a long time. You can see they've got a lot of confidence and trust in one another, knowing that when they're looking to make that pass, there's going to be someone finding a spot to open up and receive it.
Yeah. Okay, Hiberno getting low on the 12-second count. Powers his way across the half line there to avoid the over and back, and finds Morel the far side. Tie the game up at 12. We're getting into the final minutes here of the first quarter. Jess, are you expecting to see these teams manage the clock to try to score last goal?
Yeah, I would say that Canada is going to try and look to score somewhere around 50 to 55 seconds. That way they would secure themselves that last goal spot, where it looks like maybe they're going to... Oh, yeah. So Zach is holding off. He's looking to score with 55 seconds. That way, if they can slow France down on their next play, it'll leave them some time at the end to score last goal. utilizing that 40-second
I
clock.
suppose we should update our language to call it last try rather than last goal. But I think you understand what we're talking about here. Penalty goal scored. Didn't see what the violation was, possibly 4 in the key by France. And with 53.9 seconds to go in the first quarter, France will try to tie the game up at 13-13.
Canada's going to try and make them use their full 40 seconds on this clock here, so it leaves them with the right amount of time to score next goal. Last try, I should say.
Okay, Hiberno with the ball. Looking for an opening, an outlet here. Finds Morel. Back to Hiberno. 9 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to have to advance the ball here. Nice job to find the low pointer who scores France's 13th try of the quarter. Canada has 14 seconds to try to score here before the end of the first quarter. And Medel easily works his way down to the French goal line and will kill as much time as he can. And with 2.7 seconds to go, I'm sure we'll see France just safely inbound the ball here. And we'll end the quarter with Canada up by 1.
Yeah, so some good pressure from Canada there, forcing France to use all of their timeouts in that first quarter. That means there's a little less safety for France moving into the coming quarters. They don't have that bailout option of the timeout, so we're going to have to see some passes that maybe they wouldn't make if they had the option not to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, while we have a moment here, we'd like to thank some of our hosts, supporters, and sponsors. Of course, we've got the Government of Canada, the Government of British Columbia, the Richmond Sport Hosting.
Wow, what a fantastic start for both teams. It's 14-13 after the first. Good first quarter for Zach Medel, number 33. Scored the 14-point for Team Canada against great rivalry between both countries. After finishing 5th for Canada at the Paralympics in Tokyo and 6th for France, also at these Paralympics. Alors, un très bon départ pour l'équipe canadienne. Et c'est très serré, hein, 14-13 après le premier quart. Et bon premier quart pour le Canadien Zach Medel, le numéro 33. C'est, certains diront, l'un des meilleurs joueurs, la star du rugby en fauteuil roulant. So stay tuned, more action here at the Oval in Richmond, British Columbia. We'll be back for the second quarter.
Stronger first quarter there.
Yeah, I would say once we saw Canada make that switch to the more even lineup as opposed to the high-low, we kind of saw a bit of a turn in the game there. I think the French matchup is not quite as even in that even spread lineup from Canada as it was with the high-low, so I think that was a good move on their part.
Yeah, we'll see if Canada leaves the same guys out there or comes up with a new lineup. France is going to go back to a high-low, it looks like. Hiverneau, Jarlin, Lagoon, and number 7, Matthew Thirier. We'll see his first action of the game.
And for Canada, we see Patrice Desjardins, also known as Pico, coming in for Eric Rodriguez, but otherwise we have left the same players out there.
So Hiberno with the ball. Nice job to seal the corner. Wheels into the corner for France's 14th try. Nice pass by Whitehead off the inbound to Caldwell, who was unmarked over half for Canada's 15th try. Number 7, Thirier. It's called inbounder for France. And Canada has a good transition up high. However, the ball comes into Jarlin, who is one-on-one versus Whitehead. Gets over half and seals the corner, wheels in for the try. Caldwell to inbound for Canada. Spots Desjardins for the give and go. Has room to move forward, and Canada is advancing 3-on-2 versus France. Huberno attacks the ball. Caldwell finds Whitehead on the near side here. And Whitehead scores the try.
You can see those chairs that have that pointy thing out the front. Those are defensive chairs. They're pick chairs. So those athletes are typically lower classified players. Their job is more to help the higher pointers move down that court. So they're utilizing that pick on their chair to play a defensive role and slow down some of those other offensive players.
Jarlan coast to coast there. Tie the game up at 16. Caldwell to inbound again. Runs the give and go for Pico, second time in a row. Finds Morale deep. Moves the ball on to Whitehead. 2-on-3. Nice recovery by the French defense. Pops the ball over the pile. Find Morale in the far corner there for Canada's 17th try. Low pointer Thierry to inbound for the French team here. Canada covering Huberno.
We see France
players.
Got that low pointer sitting down low, number 44, looking for that deep pass, but looks like they didn't need to utilize that.
Yeah.
Canada looking to make some subs here. I think they're getting ready to put Medel and Rodriguez back in.
Jarlan scores the 17th try for Team France. Whitehead working hard against Huberno, one-on-one, but the ball comes into Morale on the far side with Jarlan and Lagun covering him. Morale manages to break free of the double team, moves the ball forward to Whitehead, puts the ball over Huberno. Caldwell catches it and is all alone to score the try.
So in order for that substitution to happen, we need a whistle to blow that's not on a goal. So they're looking for some sort of a turnover or something, and then they'll be allowed to make those substitutions. But that won't happen until some sort of whistle is blown.
So Huberno powers past Caldwell there with the ball, and scores the try. The game seems to be flowing reasonably well back and forth between both teams here.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty point for point so far.
Whitehead to inbound. Has Dagenais. Huberno comes crashing in. Double team on Whitehead. The ball comes out a little bit limp. Good pressure on the defense there, and France is able to get a turnover. And checked out, and France will keep possession of the ball with 33 seconds to go on the 40-second shot clock.
So there's that whistle that we were waiting for. Those substitutions can happen. We got Medel and Rodriguez coming in, and Whitehead and Dagenais coming off. France is also making some substitutions, it looks like.
That's right. Nankin and Morel come back in. Huberno is coming off. I didn't see who the other player was.
So do you think they're looking to match the substitutions that Canada made there, Frosty?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's possible that they like this matchup, or they may just be trying to get everybody into the game.
Right, so a little bit of strategy sometimes, and sometimes just looking to develop some of those newer players as well, I guess.
Or make sure you're not running all your players into the ground.
Yeah.
Giving them a bit of a recovery break. So 21 seconds to go on the shot clock here.
With
Morale in the box. I think that probably should have been a reset, but France will score easily anyway, and it'll be irrelevant. Morale calls inbounder, works his way back to the referee to get the ball. Medel covered by 2, so the ball comes into Caldwell on the far side, who turns and fires a bullet up to Medel, score a breakaway try.
So again there, Zach had a player on him playing defense, but he knows that he's faster than anybody else on that floor right now, so he's confident in letting Morale know that if he throws that deep ball, he's going to be able to chase it down and get it regardless of whether there's someone there on him or not. Those one-on-one matchups are a pretty safe bet for Zach here because he has the speed to his advantage.
Canada able to recover on the errant pass by the French team. Medel uses a timeout, Canada's second timeout of the game, and another turnover for Canada.
Canada taking that timeout and chatting with their coaches for a second.
Some are, some aren't. Morale goes to get the ball from the referee to inbound. The ball comes into Medel, covered by two French defenders. It's going to have to get it out. Finds Caldwell here on the close side to us, and Caldwell finds a streaking Morale up the far side. Scores Canada's 20th try of this game. Number 7, Thierry to inbound for France. Canada's got the French team in trouble here. A good deny. Nice pass to get the ball in.
It's not often you see all those players sort of in the same quadrant of the court at the same time. You know, Canada's done something right with defense there, in that they haven't allowed France to space out at all, and that kind of makes it more difficult to bring the ball down the court, which you see they struggled with. There's another turnover there. Yeah,
Canada was able to force a difficult pass by the French team, get in the passing lane, create a turnover, and I think we have our first 2-goal lead of the game, 21-19. Ball comes in.
Once again, France doesn't have those timeouts, so they are sort of forced to make the trickier passes that they would want to avoid if they could.
Jarlan one-on-one versus Medel. However, Canada retreats back to their key. And for in the key violation, I think number 2, Morale, was the last one in, so he'll sit for 60, and France will get a new shot clock and the opportunity to make this a 1-goal game.
France is going to make another substitution here.
Short rest for Hiberno, but going to bring him back on.
And number 44, Le Guin, also joining us.
Ball comes in to Jarlan on the double team. However, Canada has to be careful here because Morale's in the box, so can't be too aggressive on defense.
France looking to shove Rodriguez out of bounds there, trying to get that second penalty to keep Morale in the box, but fortunately he was able to turn up and avoid that.
So Morale calls inbounder. Finds Caldwell. Caldwell's got lots of space here on the near side. Don't think Hiberno will catch him. And another try for Canada. Thierry to inbound to Jarlan of the double team. Finds Hiberno. Close to center, but once again manages to power his way through and casually strolls across the try line. 22-21 Canada at this point. Nice pass by Travis, inbound by Travis to find Medel. Wouldn't quite call that a breakaway, but a reasonably easy goal for Medel. Easy try, excuse me.
Looks like France has trapped Medel over in the corner there. That's going to work to their advantage, keep him and his speed off the court during these defensive plays here. It's going to allow France to get over that half-court mark.
Should allow them to. Jarlan moves the ball to Lagoon, the low pointer. Swarmed by the Canadian defense. See if he can get the ball out here. Nice job to find Thierry, who scores the try for France.
So Medel called inbounder there, meaning that he's going to be the one to come and throw that ball in, allowing him to get out of the corner.
Looks like he's looking for the give and go with Rodriguez. Manages that. He's got a one-on-one against Hiberno. Should be not too difficult, and he moves the ball to Caldwell after Jarlan moves up to force the pass.
Canada is looking to make some substitutions again here, just waiting for that whistle. Seems like they're trying to run their lines here, which is great. See a bunch of different athletes out on the court.
Agreed. Hiberno with the ball, working his way to the far side of the court, now up the middle. Makes a nice pass to Jarlan. Scores the easy try. Caldwell to inbound. Morale picks up Rodriguez on the screen, turns away, uses the give and go instead. Caldwell comes up the close side to us here. Finds Morale down by the near cone. Moves the ball to Medell. Another reasonably easy try for Team Canada. 2:42 to go in the first half here. 2-goal lead for Canada at the moment, with the possession arrow pointing Canada's way. What does that mean, Jess?
And that means that it is Canada's possession, so coming in it'll be their ball. Saw an equipment call there too, so in wheelchair rugby, if something with your chair or your straps is malfunctioning, you can call equipment. That's going to be a pause in the game, fix whatever the problem is, and the possession would stay the same as it was.
Hiberno has worked his way up into close to the Canadian try line here. Runs into trouble and has to move the ball to Jarlan. 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. France starts working its way towards the goal. The player trapped in the key. They're running low on time, and that's a 10-second violation against the French squad. So Canada will inbound the ball in the corner, and Canada will finally get to make these two substitutions as Fabien Lavoie will see his first action, and Dagenet come in for Caldwell and Morale.
So offensively, when France was attacking the goal there, their athletes are not allowed to sit within the key, which is that black rectangle around the goalpost there. So that's what that call was. They had an athlete inside of the key for 10 seconds. Canada trapped him there, and that allowed the turnover to happen.
Okay, Dagenet to inbound in the corner. Finds Lavoie, who's trapped by two French players and one of his own. But gets the ball to Medell and then back to Lavoie. And Lavoie will score his first try of the tournament and game. 1:56 to go in the half here. Well, the referee puts the ball down and starts counting because none of the French offensive players went to inbound. So Canada's in a good position to stop the ball coming in. However, France gets the ball in regardless. Nankin back to Hiberno. He's trying to advance the ball over half. Stop just past center. Finds Jarlan. And he will advance and score the try. Dagenet to inbound. Has Lavoie. Once again, trapped by two French defenders, but gets the ball out and to Medell. Working his way the wrong direction, but makes the nice pass. And Lavoie will score back-to-back tries for Team Canada. 1:26 to go in half.
You can hear us struggling with the word try here. It's because previously we would refer to a try as a goal, but the language around that has changed in the last few years. So a bit of an adjustment period for all of us.
That's right. Some of us have been calling it a goal for 32 years.
So France has been doing a great job of getting that ball over the half court within the 12 seconds, even though they don't have the timeouts there. They haven't really struggled too much to get over that half court, which is great to see.
Yeah, particularly I think in this second quarter, they've done a good job. I mean, there was obviously a few hiccups along the way, but sometimes I've seen a lot of games where teams have to burn timeouts early in the game, but then they kind of get their act together, and it's almost beneficial to them because now that they don't have that timeout, they're a little bit more motivated to move the ball, I find.
That added pressure that makes them perform a bit better. So we saw France scoring at the 55-second mark there. Again, that was a strategic play by them looking to score the last goal, which means they're coming into the second with a bit of an advantage there.
Yeah. So Canada's going to make substitutions here. I think bring out Whitehead and Hirschfield for Lavoie and Dagenet probably to put themselves in a better position to score last goal. Jess, there's 47 seconds to go and 31 on the shot clock. What do you think Canada does here? Score quick or try to use time?
I feel like Canada might try and run out their shot clock here and then use a timeout.
Long pass. Long pass by Whitehead to Hirschfield. However, ball's turned over to Hiberno. So France has possession now with 28 seconds to go. And that was on, look close to over and back. Oh, back-to-back turnovers. 18 seconds to go in the half here. Canada with the ball, still in their backcourt, so they've got to advance the ball over half, which they managed to do. And we can hear the Canadian coach calling for last goal. We're down to 6 seconds, and Medel is working his way to the try line. Has Whitehead, and Canada scores the penalty try with less than 1 second to go in the first half here. So I think we can safely say that the half is going to end with Canada 28 tries to France's 25.
You saw how calm Medel was there, seeing he only had like 4 seconds on the clock. You might see a less experienced player looking a little bit panicked to try and score that goal, but Medel has been playing this game for quite a few years. He knows his own speed. He knows his teammate Mike Whitehead is there. He has height working towards his advantage, so he's totally confident, even with just a few seconds on the clock, that he's going to be able to make that pass and score that last goal.
Yeah, that last minute of that quarter was reasonably exciting with back-to-back turnovers. Both teams, I think, were probably trying to score that last try, and obviously Canada was able to pull it off, like you said. So yeah. All in all, a good half. I think that Team France used all 4 of their timeouts, and Canada has used 3. So 1 30-second timeout to go. And while we have a couple of minutes here, I think we'll go through our list of supporters and sponsors and hosts one more time. Once again, we'd like to thank the Government of Canada, the Government of British Columbia, the Richmond Sport Hosting, the Richmond...
And it's the half of the game at the Oval here in Richmond, 28-25 for Canada. So a good start at the first game for Team Canada, and the excitement is quite good. It's Thursday afternoon here in British Columbia, and there's lots of people in the stands to cheer for Team Canada. The Oval is happy to have the Canada Cup back. So good game so far. The athletes are having a little break at the half point of this game, and they will get ready for the other half. But so far, so good for Team Canada. Alors l'équipe canadienne qui a un bon départ à cette Coupe Canada, c'est 28-25. Et l'excitation, elle est palpable. Hein? C'est l'après-midi ici à Richmond, en Colombie-Britannique. Mais il y a des spectateurs. Alors on voit qu'il y a des amis, de la famille qui sont ici pour encourager les athlètes de l'équipe canadienne. C'est un sport mix, rappelons-le, le rugby en fauteuil roulant. Alors, il y a des athlètes féminines, des athlètes masculins qui font partie de l'équipe canadienne. Et c'est un excellent départ et le Canada tentera de remporter son premier match ici contre la France. So, stay tuned. In just a few minutes, we will...
High pointer, whereas below 2 is more of a low pointer. And then that's also how you see the different offensive and defensive chairs that we mentioned previously. We don't have any female athletes playing for either of these teams, but if there was, female athletes actually add an additional 0.5 to their team's classification as well, as in they're allowed to have 8.5 points on the floor as opposed to just the 8.
How do players get their classification, Jess?
So they go through a panel of testing for classification. I guess their physiotherapists or classifiers are, trained to identify function, and they test things like tricep strength and hand function and core strength, and are given different point values for each of those things, and then that will correspond to the classification that they're given.
And then you just go through the panel one time and you're done?
No, so you have to see a panel multiple times. At the international level, Frosty, maybe you can tell me.
It's three times, yeah.
Okay, so 3 times they have to see a panel before a classification is considered final. And then the classifiers will come out and watch games to see, if what they're seeing behind the scenes in the classification room matches up with what they're seeing on the court, and make their decision based off of that.
Hmm.
What are you expecting to see going into the third here, Frosty? You think they're going to sort of keep similar lineups, or do you think they might be looking to make a bit of a switch?
I would imagine that we see a very similar rotation as to kind of what we saw in the first half. I think coaches are, they have predetermined lines, so they probably want to continue to make sure that they're either looking for specific matchups, like maybe you were mentioning before, they want to see a balanced line versus a high-low line, or just making sure that their athletes are getting an opportunity to work together. I think one of the biggest differences about the Canada Cup this year than what we've seen in previous years is generally the Canada Cup has been the last tournament that these teams have had before a World Championships or a Paralympics. But given where the Canada Cup is this season, and obviously with COVID and the lack of tournaments in general over the last couple of years, a lot of these teams are going to be playing in 1, 2, or 3 more Quad Nation style events. So this isn't sort of their last opportunity to evaluate their players. So, they're really probably at the beginning of the final preparation phase for World Championships, if that makes sense.
Right. So that means, I guess, that this tournament is a great opportunity for teams to sort of develop and see what lines are working with these matchups as well. I know France has maybe a younger team than they would be bringing to, a Paralympics or something like that. So they're probably looking at this tournament as more of an opportunity to develop those players than they would be if this was closer to the Paralympics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're a younger team, but they certainly are a different team than the team that they had at the zonal championships, where they beat GB in the final, and certainly a certain different team than they had in Tokyo in the Paralympics. So I'm not sure, if some of those athletes will be competing at Worlds and why they're not here, but this is the team that's here now, so I guess they're working on what they got. So as we get going in the second half here, France has possession of the ball in Canada's half with 17 seconds to go on the shot clock. Hiberno, good defense there by Letourneau, who's seeing his first action of the quarter. And it looks like Canada managed to create a turnover and will inbound the ball in the corner. Nice job by the Canadian defense on the goal line, try line there.
Yeah, so Canada has a 4-point lead here, so they're coming in with a little bit of confidence. I'm sure France is hungry to try and close that gap a bit, but again, they don't have those timeouts to bail them out, and there's that added pressure there.
Bit of a nervous pass there by Letourneau a bit, I say, to give France the ball back. Opportunity to score the try that they weren't able to execute last possession. Hiberno scores the try post on the far side there, which makes the game 29 tries for Canada, 26 for France. Letourneau to inbound. Rodriguez is wide open for the give and go. Letourneau starts working his way up the court. Finds the ball to Medell over top, sends it deep to Caldwell, all alone on the try line. French inbounders working his way back to the ball. Hiberno's wide open, now defended by Medell. Starts working his way up the court. Swings to the far side. Accelerates and manages to get the ball over half just before the 12-second violation happens, and then manages to score an easy try.
We haven't seen too many dribbles going on here at this level of wheelchair rugby. It's moving so fast, I guess it's not coming up that often, but another rule for rugby is you have to either dribble or pass that ball every 10 seconds. So there you go, you saw Medell dribble there, not necessarily because he had to, but maybe more just out of habit, having that rule in the back of his head. So
Number 4, Shellman to inbound to Hiberno. One-on-one versus Medell. Swings to his right and crosses half. France is moving up the court to score a try. 2 minutes and 1 second into the third quarter here. Caldwell to inbound. Finds Medell, surrounded by 3 defenders. So he puts the ball back to Caldwell. Letourneau is wide open deep, but has to catch the ball stationary, so Valentin is able to recover. However, One quick move and try for Le Tourneau. Chalmin to inbound again for France. Gets the ball into number 10, Morale. Being covered by 2 Canadian defenders. Stopped at center, but able to move the ball ahead to Hiberno. Starts attacking the Canadian try line. Canada's back in their key. After swinging backwards and forwards a couple of times, Hiberno is able to cross the try line here in the close corner. Tourneau inbounds the ball to Rodriguez for the give and go. Moving forward up the court. Stopped by 2 French defenders. Sends the ball to Medel. Passes the ball to Caldwell on the try line.
You can see Canada's doing a really good job of spacing out on that court. They've got Caldwell sitting down low while the other 3 athletes are slowly working their way out that way. If they do get stuck before they get over half, Caldwell's there ready to catch that pass. France doesn't have any defense on him down there either, so that's a good out for them.
Yeah, there's Canadian players are often wide open deep, but you know, when you've got players like Medel out there, you know, you've got to force the ball out of his hands and take your chances with the other guys sometimes, right?
Yeah, so I think France is recognizing that speed mismatch that they have with Medel. They're putting all their pressure on him because they know that he's the one that's going to want to carry the ball. So by forcing the ball into other athletes' hands, they sort of think that the odds might be better for them. We've got Travis Morau sitting in the box over here getting ready to sub in. He's just chatting to us on the sideline here. He's trying to distract us and throw us off our webcast game.
That's right. We're going to repay the favor when he's out there and throw him off his game. Oh. Medel scores the easy try there. I think the French team might have thought that that was a spin, offensive spin. However, the referees didn't see it that way, and it did look to me like he kind of caught him in the middle of the wheel, not the back of the wheel. So not sure that I would have stopped playing, but...
So I think is this our first fall of the game? Obviously, wheelchair rugby is a full contact sport. These chairs are designed to smash into each other. It's not uncommon to see chairs flipping over like that. There's rules to ensure that it's not happening too often or in a dangerous way, so you can't hit somebody behind the axle of their wheel. That's what's called a spin. And if their chair flips over during that, that's considered a dangerous hit, and that would be a penalty. But looks like that last one wasn't.
Yeah. Nice hustle by Hiberno there to score France's 31st try. Tourneau inbounds the ball in the give and go to Rodriguez, attacked by 2 French defenders, but it's able to push out of there when the French defender reached for the ball and took his hand off the wheel. Medel has now got a one-on-one versus Hiberno, and it's pretty tough to stop any of these high point players when you've got a one-on-one. Lots of space like that. Chalmin gets the ball into Morel. Stuck down on the baseline, moves the ball forward to Valentin and finds Hiberno, but France is still in their backcourt, but nice outlet to Morel. One-on-one versus Caldwell. Caldwell leaves the court. Penalty try for France.
So we saw that pass right at the 12-second mark there. France got it over just in the nick of time. Strategic play.
Okay, ball comes in. Caldwell has it. Lots of time here. Hiberno forces the pass to Medel here on the close side, and I haven't been tracking, but that feels like a lot of goals for Zach Medel so far. A lot of tries for Zach Medel.
Yeah, once again, just he's the highest classed player out on that floor right there. So as expected, he's going to carry the ball the most for Team Canada, and he's got that advantage functionally. So nice to see him utilizing that function and scoring those goals for Team Canada.
Great hustle again by Hiberno, who's worked his way close to the Canadian try line. Canada has managed to retreat to get back into their key, and France has got about 16 seconds to score from this point on. Hiberno with the ball, attacks the far side, works between Rodriguez and Caldwell and scores the try. Caldwell looking for a receiver on the inbound here. Must be getting low in the count. Finds Medell. Medell's looking for Letourneau. Sends the ball down the middle. A little bit too far in front of Letourneau.
That's going to be our whistle to let Travis Morale make that substitution now.
And France ball in the corner here.
So Morale came in for Letourneau there.
Yeah.
Athletes have 10 seconds to inbound the ball as well. So once the referee blows that whistle, they've got 10 seconds to get that ball in. And if they don't do so, then it'll be a turnover on that one too.
So Jarlan gets the ball over top of the defenders here to Hiberno. He's going to have to make the long lead pass. Down to Thierry. Nice job by him to catch the ball and move it to Jarlan. And Lagoon is sitting on the try line, looking for some help to get across. This looks like he's stuck there. And going to be a 10-second violation on the French squad and turnover Canada.
Yeah, so once again, we see those offensive players sitting in the key, that black rectangle around the try line there, and that's a turnover if they're sitting there for 10 seconds. Easy.
Caldwell open deep. That scores the try for Canada. 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the third quarter here. Canada up by 4, 37-33 at this point. However, it is France's ball, so they'll have the opportunity to pull it within 1. They do have the possession arrow to start the fourth quarter, so if they're able to score the last try of this quarter, that will be like creating a turnover. Could make it an exciting fourth.
Yeah, we saw France fall behind a little bit in the second. They lost a few tries there, but they're really keeping it point for point in this third quarter here. They've brought their A game.
Been trading goals, that's for sure. Morale pops the ball over the pile, finds Medell. One-on-one versus Hiberno. Moves the ball ahead. Caldwell got past the French defenders and scores the try for Canada. Thierry with the inbound to Hiberno, being defended by Medell. Gets wheel position on him and advances the ball over half, where he's stopped by Caldwell and Morale. Creeping forward with the ball. About 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Yeah. And the referee calls a jump ball, which will remain France's ball. Probably not something that they wanted in this at this point of the quarter.
Yeah, that means that they're not going to have that advantage with the last goal. It's going to change to Canadian possession, so Canada is likely to bring in that ball in the start of the fourth quarter and give them that opportunity to be another try up.
Hiberno with the ball. They also don't get a new 40-second clock when that happens, so we're down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. However, looks like maybe there was 4 in the key, so France will actually get a new 40-second clock here and an opportunity to score the try. A little bit of wishful thinking on Morale there. Maybe we did manage to get him off his game like we promised.
Yeah, I was confused for a second there. It looked like Morale was looking to take that inbound, but I think he was trying to throw the refs off for a second there.
That's right. So Canada does want to be careful about taking a penalty here, Jess?
Yes, so if they end up drawing a second penalty, it's going to keep that first person in the box there even longer. So France is looking to cause a penalty. They're probably looking to draw for that reach or something, and Canada is hopefully hyper aware of not creating one. Good job by the Canadian defense there to pressure Hiberno around the center line. And I mean, he managed to get the ball to Jarlan, which probably wasn't the safest pass. And now France will slowly move the ball forward and cross the try line with about 55 seconds to go in the third quarter here. Yeah, so looking to set themselves up for that last goal again, knowing they've got that 40-second shot clock to work with as well, and hopefully that means they'll have, you know, at least 15 seconds to score last goal after Canada does.
Well, Canada does still have the 130-second timeout here. I suppose they could, if they chose, try to score the last goal of the quarter. I'd be surprised if that's their tactic here, and in fact it will not be, as Medel scores the try to make the score 35-39 for Canada.
France has gotten equipment here. Pause the gameplay. Looks like he's got a flat tire, so someone from his equipment team will run over and switch that out for him.
So it'll be interesting to see, Jess, here with about 45.3 seconds to go in the quarter, how close to zero can France score, because they can't run it all the way down. They have no timeouts and obviously the 40-second clock. So
yeah, it's going to be a tough one for them, because obviously Canada has Medel on their team with that kind of speed. It's definitely possible for them to, score a last goal with 5 seconds, and that's assuming that France is able to score literally on the last second of their 40-second shot clock. So chances are Canada will have at least, 7 seconds to sort of play with for that last goal, which is not out of the realm of possibility with the speed that they've got on the floor.
Jarlan
right
running out of time here on the 12-second clock, has to launch the ball. And Caldwell attempting to catch that ball, manages to deflect it straight to Hiberno. However,
well.
Canada does get the ball with 30 seconds to go in the quarter here, and will, if they choose, be able to use up as much time. If that's what they want to do, they do have the ball to start the fourth quarter. So theoretically, that would give them an opportunity to take a 41-36 lead. The French player Jarlan reaches, which will almost now certainly guarantee Canada the last goal. I know that when I'm coaching the games, I encourage my athletes not to take penalties at the end of quarters. However, when you're down by 4 or 5 late in the game, you've got to take some chances or you're going to run out of time.
Yeah, you see the pressure building in those situations, and athletes sort of using those bailout techniques when they feel like they might have lost their opportunity to get that ball back. So I think that's what we saw happen there.
5 seconds to go. Medel hanging out on the goal line. No pressure from the Canadians to try to force the penalty goal.
Caldwell jumped over to that penalty box to force number 5 to take the inbound for Team France there and make sure they didn't have that sneaky backcourt pass. And that secured their last goal, and they're moving into the fourth.
Yep, the end of the third quarter has happened. It is 40 tries for Canada, 36 tries for France. So, while we have a moment, we will go through our list of supporters, sponsors, and hosts one last time. We'd like to thank the Government of Canada, the Government of British Columbia, Richmond.
Well, Canada, it's time to take your popcorn out. It's a 4-point lead for Canada against France, 40-36, and there's only 8 minutes left. So far, so good. Canada is in a great position at their first game at this Canada Cup. And you saw the experience of Zach Medel. He waited to beat the time. This is a strategy, and he scored with 1 second left. So France doesn't have enough time to come back and score another point. So 4-point lead going into the fourth quarter in this first game at the Canada Cup. Alors c'est un bon premier match, 40-36, une avance de 4 points pour l'équipe canadienne. Et vous avez vu l'expérience de Zach Medel, il a attendu, il a battu le temps. Ça démontre énormément non seulement d'expérience, mais de maturité pour un des meilleurs joueurs. Et ça donnait pas l'opportunité pour la France de retourner en attaque et de se rapprocher de l'équipe canadienne. Alors, c'est 4 points d'avance. Ça augure bien. Il reste seulement 8 minutes. Alors, on est jeudi après-midi, jeudi en soirée, heure de l'Est. C'est le temps de sortir le popcorn et de savourer les dernières minutes de ce match contre la France. So stay tuned. We will be back on the court for the fourth quarter here at the Canada Cup at the Oval in Richmond.
And France is going to counter with Jarlan, Morel, Nankin, and Thierry. Laval works his way to the far side. Nice move. and scores the try for Canada. Deked him out of his socks, we'll say. Looks like a bit of a fumble, and didn't see what happened, but looks like the ball went off one of the Canadian chairs, so France will maintain possession, and only 5 seconds has come off the shot clock, so shouldn't play too big of a factor.
They get a fresh 12 here, so they don't lose that 5 seconds on the shot clock from the 12 to get it over.
Nice job by Whitehead and Hirschfield to force a difficult inbound, and they create the turnover, and Canada scores back-to-back tries to jump ahead. What I'm going to guess is 42-36 here. However, there we go, 42-36. Jarlan scores the try for Team France. Make it a 5-try game at this point in time. Okay, Whitehead has called inbounder. France is going to try to inbound trap him. Gets the ball to Lavoie, who makes the move again.
Shot clock didn't start on that play, so referees have blown the whistles there, and it's going to just be a reset from that same spot so that we get the full 40 shot clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Referee just checking to make sure that the score clock is right, and it is. And Whitehead finds Lavoie at the center line, scores Canada's 43rd try.
Canada fighting to try and keep France stuck in the key down there. Looks like they're going to keep Hirschfield down that end. Whereas France is fighting to get position for this inbound here.
So it looks like Canada has got France denied, so the ball may have to come into Nankin here, who had nice pass to Jarlan over top of the two Canadian defenders. And Fabian has got long arms, so good job by him. Oh, quick hands by Hirschfield, forces the fumble. And now France is going to be forced to get that ball over half, and there's the benefit to forcing all of those timeouts early in the game, as they can't bail themselves out.
So we saw number 5 from France there, Jarlan, utilizing a bump pass. That's typically a pass that you see from a low pointer as opposed to a high pointer, just because they might not have those tricep muscles to have a really long pass, but he needed to get that ball pretty far down the court and not much time, so I guess he decided to pull that one out.
That's right. Whitehead with the ball, finds Lavoie, being defended close to us here by Jarlan. Second defender, Thierry, moves over. Nice job by Dagenet to free up Lavoie, who scores Canada's 44th try, the near cone here. Thierry inbounds the ball to Morel, one-on-one versus Lavoie. Lavoie forces him into a danger zone. And Whitehead had the opportunity to force him out of bounds, wasn't able to do so, but the ball comes out and recovered by Hirschfield.
Hirschfield calls the timeout there because he knows he's in a danger zone close to the line, easily could get pushed out, and he's actually got his pick bar stuck up on Mike Whitehead's chair there too, so he's got no control over his chair as somebody tries to shove him out of bounds there. So a good call by Hirschfield there, I would say. That's their last timeout, and they can't take him with them into the next game, so might as well use it.
You'll have to remind him he can call equipment and not a timeout in those situations. Oh, well. It's not like Trev's got much experience in this level, so.
Yeah, Trevor Hirschfield is the captain of the wheelchair Canadian team, so he has been to how many Paralympics, Frosty?
2008, I think, was his first one, so you can do the math from there.
Quite a few. Definitely one of the more experienced players on that court. Arguably one of the best in his class in the world.
So it looks like Team France has possibly used a 60-second coach's timeout here just to go over some tactics. Being down by 7, I'm sure that the coach is just reminding them of perhaps some of the other goals they might have had and how they can maybe even try to win the game just from this point on if a comeback isn't possible, which is difficult to come back 7 tries in 6 minutes in wheelchair rugby. But that's a good start as Mike Whitehead has called for the backcourt violation.
Yeah, so an over and back there. They caught Mike Whitehead right on the line as he was trying to cross over, and that's going to be a turnover for Team France.
Okay, Thierry to inbound the ball here close to us. Gets the ball into Nankin, undefended. Canada tries to swarm over him now. Manages to get the ball to Jarlan. It's being covered by Whitehead and Dagenet. Doesn't find the low pointer deep as the ball rolls out of bounds and will be Canada's possession in the far corner.
We saw Fabian getting over there pretty quick to deny that pass.
Yeah, nice job by him. Now receives the ball in the Canada's front court, surrounded by a couple of French defenders. Takes his hand off his wheel. Fabs is able to wheel out, and nice job by Hirschfield to pick up that pass and score the try for Canada. Ball comes into Jarlan. He's got Pickers to follow. Heads to his right side. Now back left. Oh. Got himself into a bit of trouble, but manages not to get the backcourt violation. The ball in the hands of Morel, and now back to Jarlan. Gets the ball to Thierry. It's being covered by a couple of Canadian defenders. And a lot of pile-ups out there right now. Fab sticks his hand in there and gets called on the reach, which will give the French team a new 40-second clock with 11 seconds to go and force them to inbound the ball on the sidelines.
Fab's looking a little bit uncertain about that call, giving a unhappy look to the camera on his way over there, but obviously this is the referee's discretion. Always a bit of a tough call between whether that's a jump ball or a penalty there.
Yeah, well, you stick your hand in there, you're just asking to be called.
Especially in instances like that where you see a pile up, everybody sort of reaching and frantic. I think that you're more likely to see a penalty in those situations than not.
Nice job by Dagenet to get a touch of that ball so Fabs can pick it up on the inbounds, who works his way to the right-hand side, crosses half, and will now coast across the try line, and Canada maintains its 8-try lead here with about 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game. Ball comes in to Nankin, gets the ball back to Morel, who's stopped and is going to have to send the ball deep. Puts it up the near sidelines here to Jarlan, who moves the ball and unfortunately is unable to find the receiver Nankin, and instead finds the defender Lavoie, who moves the ball to Whitehead and up to Dagenet, who coasts across the try line. And I think this game is starting to get a little bit out of reach for the French squad.
Yeah, with just over 4.5 minutes left on the clock there, it's going to be a tough go for France to try and recover that lead that Canada has over them. But I'm sure you'll see them focusing on some of the other goals they have for this tournament. And it'll be interesting to see if they look to make substitutions and run a few of the players that have maybe played less minutes in these final minutes as well.
Yep, so Canada fell back into the key there. However, the French team did a good job of sealing off this close corner, and a wide open try for France there, 47-39. Lavoie's got the ball up the far side. No contest in the speed match up there. Lavoie scores and is now transitioned. Number 7, Thierry, comes back to inbound the ball for the French squad. Gets it into number 10, Morel. Fumbles the ball a bit. Thierry is in trouble. Bit of a prayer pass there, but it works out. Jarlan has the ball. Nice job by Nankin to control that pass over half. Whitey sticks his hand in there and takes the reach, and we'll get a bit of a rest in the penalty box.
France's ball over on the sideline here. We're in the final 4 minutes of the game.
Thierry to inbound. Gets it to Morel. Once again, Whitey's in the penalty box, so Canada has to play a soft defense here as they don't want to risk back-to-back penalties. But the longer they can take France to score, force France to score, the better off it is for them. And Morel crosses the try line, 3:41 to go. The game, France down by 8. Lavoie calls inbounder. Dagenet is not covered, so easy execution of a give and go. However, nice job by Nankin to stop Lavoie and force the pass, and Whitehead's going to have to move the ball forward. Unlucky by Dagenet to pick that ball up, and however, good defense by France to create a turnover. Morel tries to get the ball deep, however, gets stuffed by Whitehead. And then after a ricochet off a chair and a bit of a hug, the ball ends up out of bounds and remains as France's ball with 29 seconds to go, the shot clock.
Yeah, so we saw Whitehead really using his height to his advantage there. Definitely plays a big role in his game, and having the long reach, it makes it a lot easier to pass to him, a lot easier to really swarm those other athletes when he's playing defense on them as well, and you saw him get the tip of the ball there.
14 seconds to go on the shot clock. France is going to have to advance the ball here. Jarlan attacks the near side, finds an open Morel sitting in the middle of the court, and he backs in for the try. Hirschfield to inbound. Finds Whitehead on the far side. Swings around the pile, then heads back where he came. Nankin is such a tough defender. Stops Whitehead. Nice pass to Lavoie, though. Canada's front court. Lavoie makes a move. Scores Canada's 49th try. Morel inbounds to Jarlan. Being covered by Lavoie. Nice hands by Lavoie. However, the ball comes back to Morel. Lucky bounce, and scores the try. Hirschfield to inbound again. Whitehead is not covered in the middle of the court. However, now has 2 defenders on him, so has to move the ball to Lavoie, who almost puts himself into trouble on the center line there, but makes a nice play to get the ball back to himself and scores the try.
Canada is looking to make some subs again here in the final 2 minutes. We've got Matt Debley up on the sub box, so hopefully we're going to get to see him come in and play a few minutes at the end of this game.
A little bit of a miscommunication on the pass there between Jarlan and Nankin. Whitehead picks the ball up. He will move the ball ahead to Lavoie. It's not covered. And with 1:40 to go in the game, Canada is up 51-42. Jarlan scores the try, defended by Hirschfield. I think Whitehead has called for the inbound here, works his way back to get the ball. Finds Lavoie, surrounded by 2 to 3 French players. Almost gets fouled, however makes the deep pass to Dagenet. Scores Canada's try. Jarlan, doubled by the 2 Canadian high pointers. Stopped, gonna have to make the pass. Right on the money to Nankin. He turns and beats Hirschfield up the near side here. Score the try for France.
Look at the clock, Red! Look at the clock!
Minute 5 to go in the game. Hirschfield to inbound. Has Lavoie if he wants him, but finds Whitehead deep. Covered by 2 players. Nice communication from Lavoie, who casually kills a few seconds, backs in across the try line. Morel inbounds to Jarlan, covered by Lavoie. Going to have to make the deep pass again. Finds Thierry. And back to Morel. Covered by Whitehead. Nice pass to Jarlan, who setting something up, must be waiting for his teammates to transition so they can get an advantage here. However, Hirschfield to inbound the ball after a try. And we'll find Whitehead.
22 seconds left in the game. Canada's probably going to look to score that last goal at this stage. And with a 8-point lead, I think they're feeling pretty confident at this point.
10 seconds to go. Lavoie is advancing to the try line and scores Canada's 54th try with 6 seconds to go in the game. The ball comes into Nankin, back to Morel, and that'll do it.
With one last bump. Hoping to get that last goal in the final seconds there, but not quite. And that's a win for Team Canada, 54-45. A really good game. They kept it really tight for those first 3 quarters, and then just in that final quarter sort of lost a little bit of their edge for Team France.
So that's the second game of the 2022 Canada Cup in the books. As just said, Canada over France, 54-45. The next game starts at 3:30 local time. It should be a good one between Denmark and Japan. So we hope you'll tune in for that. Final thoughts, Ms. Kruger?
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching Wheelchair Rugby. We hope you guys enjoyed this game and are going to be back to watch some more. There's a lot of good games ahead of us. Thanks, Frosty.
Thank you, Jess.
J'entends pas. And this is a win for Canada, 54-45. Sorry, a bit of a lag on the tech part. We have the privilege to have 2 athletes coming in to share their first thought on the first game. But what a good start. First game, Canada against France. 54-45. It's the second time in a row that Canada wins at the international event against France. They had won their last game at the Paralympics against France for the 5th position in Tokyo last summer. And of course, France came in 6th position. Alors, c'est un excellent début de tournoi pour l'équipe canadienne avec une victoire contre la France, 54-45. Et le Canada jouera plus tard aujourd'hui contre l'Australie à 19h30 heure du Pacifique, 22h30 heure de l'Est. On aura 1 ou 2 athlètes qui viendront parler de ce match. Bien sûr, la vedette de l'équipe canadienne, Zach Medel, qui a eu 22 points sur 54. Alors, il a resté à l'écart lors du 4e quart pour laisser la chance à ses coéquipiers d'avoir un bon 4e quart et prendre de l'expérience dans cette Coupe Canada. We will have 2 athletes coming in to share their thoughts on this first game. Of course, I see behind me Patrice Dagenet, co-captain of Team Canada, who's going to join number 12. Patrice, bon départ, bon match contre la France. À quel point c'était important d'avoir un bon départ pour l'équipe canadienne ici à Richmond?
C'est important de commencer avec une victoire, là, surtout que ça fait quand même plusieurs mois qu'on n'a pas compétitionné contre des équipes du top au monde. Donc, c'est bon pour notre confiance, puis on va continuer à prendre ce momentum-là pour les prochains matchs.
Êtes-vous content? 54-45, une équipe assez relevée hein, pour la France.
Oui, ça a été serré pour un bout, mais ils ont quand même utilisé le 4 temps d'arrêt au premier quart, qui veut dire qu'ils étaient un peu dans le trouble, donc il a fallu qu'ils utilisent leur temps d'arrêt. Donc pour nous autres, c'est bon signe, ça veut dire qu'on continue à mettre la pression, on continue sur le même plan de match, puis en bout de ligne, ça a porté fruit.
Co-captain of Team Canada, Patrice Dagenet. First game, first win for Team Canada. What do? We play against Australia later today at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern time. What do we do between now and then? Do we go back to the hotel and rest?
Yeah, we're gonna rest for sure. We're gonna have a nice cool down and stretch, and then get some food in us, get some protein, and then we're gonna back to the hotel and probably get a nap in for about half an hour, and then we'll be back at it again, back at the gym for the pregame meeting, and then we'll focus on Australia.
And what do we do different compared to Australia? What adjustment, knowing that it's a complete different team?
Yeah, it's a different team for sure, but I mean, I think the basics remain the same. I'm sure that the game plan will, there'll be some little tweaks here and there, but we're pretty comfortable playing against any team when we're playing our style of play. So we're gonna bring it hard against Australia for sure.
Well, all the best. Go get some rest, and we'll be back tonight.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Merci, Patrice. Alors, un bon premier match pour Patrice, le co-capitaine de l'équipe canadienne. On aura également avec nous dans quelques instants Zach Madel, numéro 33, 22 points sur 54 pour l'équipe canadienne. Alors, il faisait partie de l'équipe canadienne qui est un des meilleurs joueurs, bien sûr, de l'équipe. On le voit maintenant, he's playing with kids. There's, of course, being in Canada, there's family and friends and attendees, which is always good. But we have Zach coming in for a few comments.
Sorry, I had to see a couple of the little fans there.
That's always good to have fans, and we're happy to be back in Canada for, of course, this international event. Zach, 22 points on this first game. A very good start. Tell us how the game went.
Oh, I think we had a lot of good takeaways. We were able to get pretty much everybody some minutes. We've got a bit of a shorter bench. We've got some complications going on this week, but everybody was able to step up and get the job done when we needed to.
How important it is to have these type of tournament prior to World Championship later on this year?
This is huge, especially with the pandemic. We haven't had a lot of reps against some high-level international teams. These are really the first big ones since Tokyo 2020, and so we're going to use this hopefully to build and focus towards World Championships this year, and then Paris 2024 further down the road.
Knowing that France was sixth at the games, you guys, Canada, came fifth at the Tokyo Paralympics. Are you surprised? Are you happy with this result, winning by 9 points?
I think we're very happy to see this. They were missing a couple of their top players, so I think we'll see some even better matchups down the road. But they still came out. We've seen a lot of progression in some of their newer players and some development, so it's exciting to see for the sport.
Well, get some rest, get the team photo, and all the best for tonight against Australia.
Very much. We'll see you around.
Good job, Zach. So this is it for the first game here at the Canada Cup in Richmond. We will be back at 7:30 Pacific against Australia, Canada-Australia, and 10:30 Eastern Time, of course. On sera de retour à 22h30 heure de l'Est et 19h30 heure du Pacifique. See you again later today.